Craig Hamilton,
Aaron Lusko.
Nathaniel Evans.
and we built a basic logic alarm system, kind of like what we did in class and had on the midterm with different sensor inputs and desired for different alarm settings. The way we built this is we just decided to use a light sensor and a heat sensor with a thermostat, but it's modular where any type of sensor could be attached to it for basically two sensors. To where we have it set up for the first LED that comes on is just indicating that we're not getting any signal input from them. It's kind of like if you have a process going on and basically everything's within parameter set. When you're monitoring, the parameters go outside of bounds, like say if the light sensor goes off and then we switch, the other LED comes on, indicating that that's the alarm that's going off. You do see there is some delay because there's some delay with the analog signal there, which is one of the issues we've still been working on. And then likewise, if we apply flame to the thermostat, this thermostat that we were able to find is open on rise at 300 degrees. So we used for the sensor input for that, we used a relay to then allow for another signal to turn that. Right now we have both signals that are alerting, so the fourth LED came on.
The yellow one comes on.
We had a lot more ambitions for additional things with this, to also have a piezo buzzer going with the last alarm as well as a 7-signal display, but we found that our power draw was too high for our current setup because we found that putting more power than 4.5 volts on this side of the system had a tendency to fry our logic chips,
And the entire set once.
That wasn't good. The basic logic that we're using here is we have a NOR gate, which if either signal is alerting, that's what that NOR gate then activates the all is good first LED. If one of the sensors is activated and the other one's not, they'll go through a NOT gate to invert that, then through an and then and that goes to LED number 2. Inverse for LED number 3 if the other sensor's on, the other one's off, or if both sensors are on, then the fourth LED comes on.
Tell us the status of these lights. If everything's operating fine, we get the red one at the very top is lit, and nothing else is lit. Is that right?
That's what the idea is supposed to be.
Yeah, and we're getting a little bit of noise, and we actually had an issue with noise, and that's why these two 15-ohm resistors were added. We probably need to up it a little bit because we're still getting a little bit of noise from that.
Now, the other two, the yellow, the green, and the bottom red. Now, if we have light that's blocked, you're going to turn off the top at the red.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And the green comes into play.
And the green comes into play. Now, take your finger off, and the green goes away, and it goes back. Now, if you apply temperature, and there's nothing associated with the light, what's supposed to happen?
What's supposed to happen is that the first red LED will turn off, and the yellow LED will turn on.
Okay.
I think there's also, and
then
these aren't the best light sensors, so I'm thinking there's some issue with that
Right.
too.
And then if both the LED is covered up, the photoresistor is covered up,
And the thermostat's going on.
then
The first 3 LEDs are supposed to be off, and the last LED is supposed to be on. And would need to reheat the thermostat.
Yeah, and we actually found
don't burn your
two.
wires.
Huh?
Don't burn your wires.
We actually broke one of these.
There we go.
And so, yes, they have a lifespan when you expose them to open
Now
flame.
leave your finger over that. Leave your finger over that, and now we should see it transition from that red over to just the green here in a
Well, no,
moment.
That's going to take time.
You got
Because it
it.
has to cool.
right.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so once that cools off and stops alerting, we should just see the green come on.
We kind of went with our reasoning
There
behind
we
doing
go.
some of this.
Okay.
And we could also hear at that point
The
the
relay
relay
clicked.
click, because that thing opened up when the relay
And now the
back.
green is lit.
Yeah.
And the top red. Now
Yep.
take your finger off of there, and the green goes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting.
Yeah, so
Now one more time, I'd like to take this, and I just want to see the yellow.
sure.
And now with the photoresistor being left open,
Right.
this is gonna go to just turn the yellow on. And you really have to get this.
300 degrees. And for some reason,
Oh,
you're
that's
just casting a
because we
shadow over
gotta
it.
cast the shadow,
Okay.
because that's the light detector.
There it is.
yeah.
Okay, great. Is there any questions? Okay, good man.